Hello, welcome to day one of this Mindfulness for Education mini-series. We are going to meet here Wednesday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time, and then Saturday morning, the last session will be at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. The goal is to be completed with the mini-series in 20 minutes. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here with me and taking time out of your evening to be here. I truly, truly appreciate it and am super excited about this opportunity to share this information with you. So if you can, and if you're tuning in, if you can tell me where you're tuning in from, that would be great. If you were with me for your Breathing Matters mini-series, you will know that that was a month ago, was my very first time coming online live ever. And it was a really unique experience for me. I'm used to doing professional development live with staff members all the time or being on a stage and speaking. So this whole live thing and not seeing your beautiful faces is really weird to me. I see that Patricia's here. Hey Patricia, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Thanks for joining us. Valerie Larson, thank you. If you can, yes, let me know you're coming in from Maine. Great to see you. That's really helpful just for me to plan where you're coming from. California, hi Ryan. So thank you. Let's go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and get started. So I want you to know that this practice is about you and for you. This is to help you manage the stress. There is a high number of stress for educators among today. And it was a high amount of stress before COVID-19 even happened. And now it's even higher and it's super concerning. So while these mindfulness lessons can be used for students, I have really brought the information for you to use just awareness of your own self and your own stress response system. If you choose and you want to bring it back to your students, please do that. But I just want you to know that you're not going to necessarily always get student-friendly handouts with this mini-series, and it's going to be more geared towards older students or adults. So just to kind of put that out there. So let's first check in. If you did take a look at the handouts, there is one that says rate your stress. And on this scale is 10 being the highest. You're going to lose your stuff. And 1 is easygoing. You're feeling pretty calm, cool, and collected. If you can do me a favor and just type in the chat where you're at right now at this given moment. You can think about, if you want to think about the week, how you've been all week and put that number in, or if you just want to put like right now, that would be great for me to know. And the reason why is because this will actually, if you're at a high level of stress, 7 or higher, it tells me that your brain and the thinking patterns aren't working at optimal levels. And I can actually alter my mindfulness practices for you this week. If we're at a 7 or higher, it's good to check in because that is usually when we're at brain fog. We're experiencing fatigue, physical fatigue, difficulty concentrating. We also have a much lower stress tolerance, and even sometimes things can be very exaggerated. So for instance, I have years ago, a teacher that I had worked with that was on my caseload, a student that was on my caseload and was in her regular education classroom. She came into my room one day after a very stressful day, and she was just like, I can't take this anymore. And so I was wondering, well, what can't you take? And she just said, this student is so disruptive all day long, I can't teach. And she was just about to lose her mind. And so after talking with her and just calming her down, we decided to collect some data. And so for the next 3 days, all she did was just mark a little tally without the student knowing that she was tracking how many times she was disrupted just by comments or the squirrely things that the student liked to do. And so at the end of the 3 days, she had brought in her sheets and I could see that she had them and she was actually laughing. And I couldn't tell if it was like a really nervous laugh, like, people sometimes do at a funeral, or if it was a laughter of joy. And so we were looking through her data. Come to find out, this student really only interrupted her, not only, but interrupted her anywhere from 5 times in a day to 17 times in a day. Okay, well, 17 is a lot, I will say that, but she actually had felt like it was 50 or higher in a given day. And so when she saw that it was 17 or lower, she thought it was really funny that she had just such an exaggerated internal stress response system. And when she looked at 17, she said, I can handle this. Actually, it's not so bad. It's not as bad as I thought. So it really put things in perspective for her. Through all my training, what I've learned is what that was for her, it's our reticular activating system. And so if you've never heard of the reticular activating system, what that is there's a handout right here, looks like this. It is located right here, brainstem. And what that does is it filters out information. And so it's kind of like the activating system that alerts our amygdala, letting us know that there's danger. So it also looks at like negativity. If we're experiencing a lot of negativity, we are going to see a lot more negativity if that's what we're focused on. So we've heard the saying, what we focus on grows, and that is our RAS, reticular activating system, that is responsible for that. The same is true for positivity. So if we choose to see a lot of positivity, it will actually expand our awareness of positivity. I can think of another example. So I was doing some landscaping around my house about 5 years ago and was in a park and had seen these sedum plants. I'd never seen sedum plants before, and they were just beautiful, gorgeous. So I went right away to the landscaping company, picked some sedum plants out, and planted them in my own landscaping. And the next thing I knew, everywhere I went, I was seeing sedum plants in front of storefronts, even in my neighbor's backyard. Like, did you just plant them? I'm thinking he's, copying me. No, just kidding, I wasn't. But I had never been aware of them. But then once I was made aware of them, I saw them all the time. So can you think of situations where that happened? Maybe you bought a white car. No, white's a bad example. Maybe you bought a purple car. That happened to me. And thought, I'm going to buy this unique color because there really aren't many of this color in that model. And the next thing I knew, once I had the purple car, I was seeing that purple car all over the place. So that is our reticular activating system. The good news is once we're aware of that, and that's how that works, we can interrupt it. So if we notice that we are experiencing a lot of negativity and that's all we're seeing, we can actually make a mindful, conscious choice and effort to see where's the good in this situation. There's always a silver lining to every cloud, and I know that some people don't like to hear that saying, but really there is a learning opportunity behind any of the negative or challenging situations. And we're in a lot of them right now, aren't we, as educators? It's just becoming a lot, everything that's being stacked on top of us, plus all these different plans that are in place, COVID-19. If this number is, then we go into this learning plan. If your school district hits this number, then you go into this learning plan. It's like constantly trying to navigate through a pitch black room that you're unfamiliar with. And so if you're feeling a heightened stressor level response, I want you to know that's completely normal. And the very first part of that is just to be aware. Where are you at? The other thing that is included in your handouts is the wheel of emotions. So as Dr. Dan Siegel from The Whole Brain Child really talks about, if we name it, we tame it. And that is so true. If we can label that we're feeling super anxious about a situation and we're feeling really stressed about a situation, it immediately starts calming that or releases that bundled up energy within our systems. So it's really, really healthy to start talking about, like, I'm feeling super heightened stress level. I'm feeling a 7 or higher. I'm feeling anxious about it. I'm feeling overwhelmed about all the things that we're being asked to do. The learning curve is huge right now, isn't it? And we're all feeling that pressure about it. So I want you to know, when we get to that point, what happens is our adrenal glands are activated, the cortisol levels are increased, we start having muscle tension, and we then, as a result, we start losing energy, and we start using energy that we shouldn't even need to be using. So what we're going to do, our mindfulness practice for today, is about cultivating awareness. And what this is it's just for us to check in to see, where are we at? What is happening within our internal system? So I invite you to just gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're welcome to just keep them open. Otherwise, what we do for students that have had a lot of trauma, we tell them just look down at an object that is near them, where it is kind of closing their lids though. The more that we can shut down our sensory system when we're practicing mindfulness, or sorry, not our sensory system, but our senses, when we're practicing mindfulness, the more likely it is that we can tune in to what's happening inside. So I invite you to just gently close your eyes, tuning into your breath for this practice. So notice the cool air entering your system on the inhale and the warmth of an exhale. Gently relax your body a little bit more, settle in to comfort on every exhale. Straightening your spine. If you're having difficulty focusing, what we can do is we can anchor ourselves. We anchor ourselves by saying in on an inhale, out on an exhale. Providing your brain a focal point helps you tune in to the present moment and helps start to eliminate or alleviate any type of background internal noise that you might have. Allowing your breathing to just naturally flow right now. So as you have thoughts that travel in through your mind, I want you to just notice them. As they pop up, just notice that they're there. This is our chance to practice non-judgment. All we're doing is observing. So you might think about your to-do list that you didn't get done today. Just kind of nod. Oh, there it is. And then the next thought. You might be worried about something, a meeting that you have tomorrow. Just notice and observe that that thought is there. If you notice any emotions connected to it, observe, know what they are, and just let it pass on by. Just continuing to notice any thoughts that's happening. Notice any tension in your body, feelings that arise. Again, we're just taking note that they're there. We're not attaching to it. We're placing judgment on them. We're just, yep, there you are. And allow it to flow. Tuning back into your breathing, anchoring yourself in on the inhale, out on the exhale. As I mentioned earlier, another way to anchor yourself is just to tune in to the cool sensation on the inhale and the warmth of every exhale. And when you're ready, I want you to slowly open your eyes, just allowing in a little bit light at a time. Till they are fully open. So for this practice, take your time coming out of that too. For this practice, anytime that we do have students close their eyes or you yourself close your eyes, what you want to do is I really want to hit home the importance of slowly opening. Because what happens is if I'm sitting here like this, dark, and all of a sudden I open my eyes like this, I actually shock my system. So by doing a gradual open, what I can do is I prepare my nervous system that I'm going to let in quite a bit of light, in difference, to what it was a second ago. And so we can prepare that. If we do that suddenly, we put stress on our nervous system, and that agitation can actually carry through with us all day long, impacting our ability to be more resilient. So you may have noticed I have some little toys in the background. The fire truck just has to do with the fires that are down south and that we've been dealing with. And then Bozo the clown. My apologies for anyone that doesn't like clowns. I know that that can be a thing. But I like Bozo because what can happen is during the day, we can easily, a very stressful situation can completely knock us over. And if you learn the right skills and practice enough of just slowing down, being intentional, checking in with yourself, you can actually start to bounce back up and you can get right back to where you were, just like Bozo the clown does. So it actually helps produce and create further resiliency, or we call it equanimity. Equanimity is our ability to stay centered among all the chaos. So practicing mindfulness can definitely help you become more centered in all of this busyness. So what I encourage you to do is either tonight or tomorrow morning when you wake up, take some time. If you can just take a couple minutes, that's all I'm asking you to take. Take about 2 minutes out of your day to just gently check in with yourself. Check in with your breathing. Go ahead and anchor yourself on your breathing. Label maybe any emotions that you're having, any thoughts that you're having. So what we're doing is we're becoming more aware. And if we can become more aware of the narrative that's happening within our internal dialogue that happens, or anytime that we're ruminating over the past or anticipating what's going to happen in the present, we can actually start interrupting that. So the very first practice is just creating some awareness, checking in where you're at. Tomorrow, when we come back here at 6 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to talk about what to do next. I'm going to have some guided practice on doing a body scan, and we're going to go ahead and take a look where that stress is sitting within your system. And then I'm going to show you how to interrupt that stress response system and be a lot more proactive for the difficult situations that come your way as an educator today. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. If you do a practice and you're just not sure what to do, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can either direct message me, Shylla Webb, or just post a message on this Facebook page or this Facebook group on how the practice was for you, what you experienced about it, and if you have any questions. If you have any questions right now, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat. I'll see if I can catch up with them. I don't see any questions there, so I want to make sure that I'm available to you during this practice. So this is a mini series. So this little practice is just like putting your toes in and checking the temperature of the pool before you dive in. So if you feel like you needed more of this, please take time out of your evening to do it. Just settling down and shutting down those extra senses and that input and checking in with ourselves is very, very effective on combating stress and just coming down to a sense of calm. So thank you again for being here with me. I told you that I was going to keep this within 20 minutes. It looks like we're at about 19 minutes and 30 seconds. If you are interested in doing a deeper practice, definitely don't hesitate to call me or reach out to me. But tomorrow we will be here to do the next level practice. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye.